Well, good morning, everybody. I'm Jan Erickson from Stepping Aside, and welcome to Somewhat Daily Tarot and Rune on this winter solstice and Yule, first day of Yule. Happy winter solstice, happy Yule. My turkey is back in the refrigerator, and I'm going to cook it later. I thawed it in water all night long. And we're going to let it sit in the fridge for a little bit, and then later on this morning I'll get it started. I used to cook them in foil on 450, but now oh my Lord, there's nothing like that. They literally fall apart. So don't plan on having a turkey that's necessarily intact when you do that. But it is incredible when you cook it like that. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use one of those plastic cooking bags, or not plastic, I don't know what they are, but those cooking bags, I've been doing that the last few years, and they're really great. You cook them on a lower heat, takes a little bit longer, but that's okay. Not that much longer, because the time is cut down when you're cooking them in foil on 450. I used to just butter or put olive oil or whatever on the turkey on the outside of it, and then I'd wrap it in foil tight and not loose, but just wrap it and then cook it on 450 and oh, it's just incredible. But I'm not going to do that. It just gets the house too hot, and I'm not going to do that. I like this other way. It's moist and it's just excellent. So I'm going to do that. Now, what I want to do here today differently, since we're at the winter solstice, you're talking about the darkest night of the year, basically, the longest, nighttime hours. And the least daylight hours. But after this, you start to see things go in the other direction. So we have new experiences coming our way. The new year, if you want to call this the beginning of the year, the new year is coming. And I wanted to see, now that the stimulus check has been approved, I guess, we'll see if it gets signed. But $600 is an insult. And, having them, make this about the Georgia election and getting their 3 martini lunches paid for in full. They got the martini lunches, so now they can write off all of their meal expenses, and they can just call them business, right? See, they did away with that. I think they dropped it to like 50% you could write off. Well, it's because it was being abused, right? And so consequently, they got that back, which shows you where their head's at. But then the fact that they haven't done this in 9 months, and they didn't set up regular payments to people while they're unemployed, or while this chaos is going on, because of course we can't all wear masks and shut down the virus. No, that would have been the simple thing to do, but oh no, freedom, which, realistically, the Saturn Jupiter conjunction that we're experiencing right now, that's really about that. It's about freedom versus restriction, and how Saturn and Jupiter balance all of that in all of us. You get too much Jupiter, too much freedom oriented. You get too much Saturn, you get too much restriction oriented. So you want to find a balance, right, between the two. So in my view, in terms of the pandemic, you have to see masks as not restriction. You have to see it as freedom, because it's allowing everybody to go out and get their work done and get their shopping done and go out and do things, right? If we can all do it safely and at a distance, and the government can pay businesses to stay closed that need to stay closed, and then supplement the rest that can be open with money that can then retrofit their businesses so that we can do that, right? So that businesses can get back to work and all of that, instead of doing it in a risky way. Giving stores money to hire security to make sure everyone's in a mask, and if they're not, they're told to leave and it's enforced. Things like that that businesses really can't afford to do, right now, or really any time. But that's what that was supposed to be about, right? But not here, not in this country. Oh no. Because this is what they're still saying. The Republicans in Congress are still saying, oh, if we give them $600, a stimulus check for $600, then, oh my goodness, they're going to live high on the hog. Who does that? And if we give them $300, a week in unemployment, oh my goodness, and the one times 600, they're going to abuse it, and they're going to live high on the hog. Can you believe that? This is what these people think. Oh, but they didn't get their liability protections for corporations who want to run betting pools over who's going to live or die and who's going to get the virus, right? Yeah, they don't have to make it so people are safe. Let's just make sure we shield them from any liability. Well, they didn't get that. They did not get that. But what they've had to, but they get their 3 martini lunches and their $600 bottles of wine that lobbyists wanna order in a meal with some high-ranking politician, right? So they can get what they want. Yeah, this is nonsense. It's all about corporate America and not about the people that make corporate America function. See, you without the people, without the workers, they're nothing. They've got nothing, right? But they don't seem to make that connection. So they don't place any importance upon the American people. The other contrived reason for why Mitch McConnell allowed this to happen is because they want to win Georgia back, right? They want to keep Georgia, I should say. Well, I don't know if that will happen. Maybe. But I don't know that it will, because an awful lot of people have already voted there, and way more than what they typically see. So I don't know. You had almost 1 million, or maybe it was 1 million, that requested ballots, to vote by mail. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But they stand the chance, and even if Mitch still retains control of the Senate, he doesn't really have that. That's actually been an illusion. It's actually the vice president that has control of the Senate. Vice president can bring up any bill he or she wants. And now we have a she who's tired of the nonsense because she was a senator and she saw the crap they pulled. So hopefully she will exercise that right to come in and decide, okay, we're going to bring this to the floor. We've got 2 senators here who want to do that, so we're going to do that. And Mitch McConnell will have to take a step back. Yeah, we didn't know that, did we? That changed in the 30s, like 36 or 37 or something, where the majority leader of the Senate determined that. But that was just a gift. That wasn't a given, and it's certainly not codified into law. So we do actually have an out here, and I hope she takes it. If we don't win Georgia, see, if sense doesn't return here, and we get 2 of the most, good Lord, I mean, what are these people doing? Taking, you just read about it. Go online and read about it. You'll see what I'm talking about. I can't believe what those 2 have done. I guess the guy, Purdue, has made more stock trades, like of all of the stock trades made by any member of Congress, he's, in the time he's been there, he's made, or maybe it's just this last year, I don't know, he's made 1/3 of them. Yeah, you tell me what that is, right? Yeah. So, okay, I've shuffled enough. Now, I've already pulled the runes. I want to see what direction we're going. I don't normally do this in a reading here. I just do influences. But I want to see where we're going. And so, what's the direction? Are we going to be stuck in this whole morass of corporate overlords controlling everything about our lives, or how much money we can make, how much we can have, how much we can do, what freedoms we have, what protections we have, what rights we have, or are we going to be continually under their fascist thumb, or are we going to move in a direction of egalitarian and harmony and unity and democracy? It's what we're supposed to be here, not this other. But maybe we can release the stranglehold with this winter solstice, with this rare conjunction between Jupiter and Saturn, where we try to figure out just exactly how do we manage and how do we see, how do we perceive freedom and restriction? Because that's the balance. They're the counterbalancing energies, really, in our lives. Those 2 planets influence all of that. And now that we have this very cool conjunction, we're coming together to try to figure this out. Well, we're figuring out a lot of things right now, aren't we? We see what's been going on. And we know that it's not a good thing. So are we ready now with this planetary alignment to shift our perception into something that's a little bit more realistic and that's beneficial to the majority. That's what democracy is, right? Anyhow, we have Alyes is the rune, the Elder Futhark rune for today. And we're looking at air, fire, and water up top on the top points, and earth on the bottom, as we draw the energies of spirit into our daily lives with this. It's considered it's a protection rune. It represents the elk. It's the Bifrost bridge to higher consciousness that links between realms. So it provides this, so the line that draws down into earth draws those energies in balance into our manifested life, our will, our intellect, our emotions, and brings them in from spirit. All right. So far, it's been a service to self, egoic type of experience. Now we need to move to something else if we're to survive as a people, right? So the geomancy rune is Caput Draconis, I'm sorry, the head of the dragon, or the on the threshold of something new, right? We're on the precipice of something new coming into place, and I don't know, a return to or maybe a reestablishment of the service to self model versus the service to self model. Maybe that's what we're on the threshold of. So let's see what the cards say and see if they can give us any insight, or if we're going to be struggling with this a while longer. Theoretically, with a new president getting inaugurated and the direction he wants to go, that's not, I mean, for crying out loud, we've had a hack going on, a cyber hack going on since what? March or April? Is that what they're saying? And the idiot in the Oval Office says nothing. Oh, it's China, he says. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. It's exactly who it's always been, right? And they got into, oh my God, they went everywhere. Not just the government, but to corporations. They went everywhere. What did they see? They saw everything, right? Our nuclear stuff. They saw everything. And he doesn't want to do anything. He doesn't want to do it. He doesn't even want to name them. Well, you know why, don't you? They own him. How do they not? Are the rumors true that he's been laundering the Russian mafia's money for the last 30 years? Yeah. Oh, yeah, I got no ties with Russia. Oh, no. Yeah, you do, babe. You went over there in 87, and likely that's when it all started. You've got ties to them. And now you've tied our country up with them in a way that they're taking from us. A cyber attack is an act of war. Not in this guy's world. This guy is like, here, I'll open the door for you. Come on in. I'm just really offended by that $600 stimulus payment. It's insulting. Families that because maybe it's a small business that they own or they work for, they maybe the business is closed. Some are facing eviction. So you want to give them $600 for what? What are they going to use it for if they don't have a home? Where do you expect the family to go? Live in their car? You see, this is the mindset that we've been trying to work against here. And we were successful in electing a different president with a different mindset. But if the Congress isn't fixed, he's going to have nothing but trouble unless the vice president decides to assert herself in the way that she should and bring votes to the floor. If you can get them there, you'll likely get them passed. Even with the Republicans in office, because they're afraid if they don't, they're not going to get reelected. But they shouldn't be, right? If they expect us all to live under this kind of fascist austerity, why should they be in office at all? You see? I mean, hasn't that been the problem all along? is that we keep reelecting people that think only about their corporate donors' interests and not at all about the people they've been elected to represent. That's the problem, right? So we have the Queen of Pentacles. It's not looking good. But maybe we'll talk about this in terms of security. She's on a beautiful throne out in a garden area. She's looking at her wealth, though. She's looking at her abundance. She's not really concerned with anyone else. But there's also a contemplative aspect of this particular queen. Pentacles is the earth element. So is she contemplating what's coming, maybe? A new compassionate way of dealing with things. You have, is she rethinking all of it? Let's see what the rest of the cards have to say. Generally speaking, the King of Pentacles is really, he surrounds himself with his wealth. She's not so much. So is she reevaluating things? You know, is she reevaluating the importance of her own wealth versus the lack thereof of the people who she rules over? She's compassionate. She's benevolent. She's kind of the Earth Mother. So let's not be too quick to condemn her for her money. But maybe. Well, maybe not. Here we have the Four of Wands. Wands is the fire element, or our will or creativity. The spark of life. Here we have the Four, which is about a foundation, the structure. And here we have two people coming into marriage. I mean, you can also look at it as partnership, any kind, if you want to kind of extrapolate it out where you can do that. But what we have here, interestingly enough, in this 22 year, on this 2 energy day, we have people coming into balance with one another. They're coming into balance with themselves. You see the 2 on each side. You could say that each individual came into balanced polarity within themselves to then come together in balanced polarity with each other. You see the garland above, it's in a cross pattern. So again, like Gebo, the rune Gebo, which is balanced energy exchange with others, you can see that there. You see the line of demarcation right here, which is, that was then. I interpret that to being, this is now, this is then, or this is then, and that's the future, or whatever. You're seeing a line in the sand, basically, to say, well, here's where we're going, here's where we've been. But now they're coming into harmony with each other. So maybe with a reevaluation that the Queen is doing about how her wealth is manifested for the benefit of all. Maybe we're starting to see a shift here in terms of our foundation so that things are a little more positive, that we come into balanced energy exchange with each other instead of, this loggerheads business, and hopefully people that have can take a look at this last year, and just this last year alone, and see the downfall of the type of fascist authoritarianism thinking that the Republican Party has turned into. Because that's what's happened here. Man, they've been on a wild ride all this last 4 years. I mean, think about it. While the rest of us are standing here going, oh, how did I benefit from the rich person's tax cut? How did I benefit? I didn't, right? But they're telling you did, right? But you know you didn't. I always think of it in terms of lies versus the truth. So yeah, here we go. I like this card, this 3 of Wands, another fire element card. What you see there is he's gone between these two staves. It's like he's walked through a doorway into new experiences, and whatever he is planning for the future is coming to fruition here. He's waiting for his ship to come in. Whatever his efforts at planning are, right, are beginning to yield fruit, basically. Now, I'm going to take one more card. If this 4 was not there, then I think I would be a little more concerned about the effect of the Queen. You know. I'm going to take a 4th card. But we're going to put, we're going to leave the order that it is, I think. We so far have a 7 energy, a 7 numerology for the reading with the 4 and the 3. Together that's 7, so that's balance. It's magic, it's divinity. But it's letting things come to rest. So I think the underlying thing is we have to let things settle out here over the next month, and then allow the new president to come in and see what he can do here, and what the new Congress can do to shape whatever happened here, assuming that they can do that. They may be wanting to get rid of some things once they have the power to do that, and replace them with something that's more beneficial to the country. But the 3 of Wands signifies to me something beneficial is on the way, that we've walked through a new doorway into new experiences, into new vitality. And we don't yet know. It's very catalytic. You see the water there, it's not blue, it's orangish. And so lots of catalytic change on the horizon. Now, likely due to the shift in direction in terms of the government. And maybe a little bit better effect in our own lives as a result. Well, here we have a 2, the 2 of Cups. We see the winged sun above and the caduceus below. This is a card of healing relationships. And it could also be about healing the polarity issues within, getting all that back into order. Sometimes the ego runs amok and spirit is left wanting. It's like, hey, yoo-hoo. So what you do is you don't say, hey, yoo-hoo to ego. You just simply raise your vibration and give ego no attention whatsoever. And I think that that's really where we're going. We're just going to turn in a new direction here. And it's going to be one of reciprocity in healing. Hard to see the healing aspect of things right now, given what everybody has contended with over the last 4 years. But I think that it's almost like, it's like the Rune de Gauze. And one of the, and I don't remember who said this, I'm not sure, it might have been Thorson, but I'm not sure, about energy being at its saturation point becomes its opposite. It feels like we've gone as far as we can go with this whole fascism nonsense. And now we have to give way to something else. And what I see here is perhaps the feminine influence here coming in, and the goddess presence coming in, and maybe we'll be a little kinder to the Queen of Pentacles here, and suggest that as she sits quietly in a reflective way, she's rethinking about how her wealth has been distributed amongst the people, and realizing that what her husband's wanting to do, the king surrounding himself, because if you look at the King of Pentacles, he's literally, the back is to the kingdom, and he is literally surrounded by his wealth. You see it in the is it the 4 of Pentacles, where he's the miser. He's sitting again, and you don't see all the abundance around him, right? You see the kingdom behind him, and he has got his back to that. He's a distance away, and he's stepping on 2 big pentacles. He's holding one like this tightly to him, and he's got one on his crown, all right? Big. So you've got 4 coins sitting there that are big, right? And he's hanging on to his wealth for dear life. That's the problem with the suit of Pentacles, is because it's like, how tightly do you hang on to something, right? Well, in terms of the 4, You have the Four of Pentacles, you see him holding on for dear life. The Four of Cups now is you're so caught up in your own moment that you and your own emotions and all of that you can't see anything that's being offered to you. You can't see what's before you, and you can't see what's being offered to you, right? So you can see where the Four, the Four of Swords would be the guy, the knight is lying down and he's resting his mind. He's letting things come to rest, let's see what else. So there's, and then you have here the Four of Wands, which is a restructuring of relationships in terms of the balanced polarity. So you add the Two of Cups to that, or that's the Pentacles, sorry, the Queen of Pentacles. You add the Two of Cups to that, and now you see the healing process has begun. Again, another line of demarcation. This is what we're doing now, so that we can then go on into our lives in a more healed and compassionate way to others. The truth has always been about the virus, that it's deadly. The truth about the virus has always been that we must mask up. And don't wear it down below the nose, and don't wear a face shield only. You have to stop the breath from reaching other people. A face shield only will not do that. Because it's in the breath that the virus is breathed out into the air. It's airborne. It hangs there. It doesn't dissolve once it reaches air. It doesn't. It hangs there. It drops down onto surfaces. And so instead of the current president saying, oh yeah, go ahead, do whatever you want, it's fine. It'll be over with by April. Be over by Easter. Go ahead, put your kids back in school. Open all the businesses. I'm not going to do anything to make you safe doing so, but go ahead and do that. Right? What? Does he like to watch people suffer? Apparently. So he lied. And all this time, he's expected people who support him and believe and hang on his every word to then go up against the rest of us who believe the scientists, right? Believe the doctors, who believe that, yeah, we're in trouble here. This is a bad situation. If we would just have done that for a couple of months, and then we could have planned for, a resurgence in the fall, we would have had time to prepare the businesses to be open safely. But oh no. Instead, it's just better to lie to everybody, I guess. And to tell them, oh yeah, don't worry about it. And asking people, hey, take your mask off if you want to talk to me. Or having the new chief of staff, Mark Meadows, come out to talk to reporters in a mask, pulls it down, and they're saying, no, put it back on. Oh, no, I'm not going to put it back on. And if you want me to, I'm leaving. And he does, he leaves. So he expects you to trust that he's not sick and spreading it on you as you report on what he has to say. Can you see the sickness there? The sickness in the mind that's happened with these people? Why try to harm somebody? Well, it's because they decided early on that they were just going to forget about doing everything and we'll just have herd immunity. If 6 million people die, because I've seen two figures. I've seen 3 million and I've seen 6 million that would die as a result of herd immunity. You've got the king of Sweden, because they did this, right? He's coming out now saying, yeah, I don't think that was a good idea. Didn't work. So let's mask up. Let's not travel on the holidays. Let's mask up. Wear it properly. Take care of others. Right? Take care of others. Have that sense within you, that service to others mindset that says to you, when I take care of my brother, I take care of myself. It's just the way it is. And it's the way it needs to be. Not this, where people are dying and they're dying alone because their families can't be with them. How did that become okay? How did any of this become okay? Well, we have a chance now, and this reading shows us, to rethink how we manage wealth in this country, because we're going to talk about this in terms of a country card, because she's the queen. Because this isn't about the general population mismanaging their money. Oh no, they don't have it. They don't have it to mismanage. Those people that still have money coming in, that are still working, or whatever they've got coming in. If you've got disability or something like that, you'll still have money coming in. But otherwise, you're standing there wondering, how am I going to feed my family? And it's Yule today, and it's Christmas on Friday. But they couldn't do like other countries and give monthly payments until we could get this under control. Maybe had they done that, maybe they would have been a little more motivated to get people in masks. Because once you deal with it, and you can go back to life as you know it. But they did everything wrong. They did everything to keep us in the position we're in. I'll say it again. They did everything to keep us in the position we're in. So, hopefully, this is portending something new on the horizon, where we come into a little bit better balance with one another. We value one another. Everybody you see is the other side of self. We're all one in spirit, so to think we're not all one here, we are. We just got to start acting like it again. And when we do, you're going to see a massive shift, and it won't take long. Maybe we saw that with the election. Maybe we're going to see more going forward. Maybe Georgia will be the hero of the day and elect, Warnock and Ossoff in those positions, so that Democrats have a clear path forward to undo the damage that's been caused over the last, well, not just 4 years, but that's been done by a Senate that won't give an inch unless it's to their corporate donors. Because that's what this has been all about. It's why McConnell won't let anything come to the floor. But guess what? He really doesn't have that power. And maybe, if it ends up being that way again, maybe Kamala will do the right thing, and she'll, as vice president, she'll come in and take over and say, no, you're not going to decide what bills come to this floor. The bills are going to come to the floor, and people are going to vote on them. And that's just that. You're not going to put a stranglehold on taking care of the American people and doing what's right, because that's what he's done. So, it looks like we have a interesting winter solstice and Yule reading today, and a little bit better expression of will into the focus of healing and reciprocity and partnership. So blessings, and be good to yourself, be good to one another. We'll see you on Thursday. Blessed be.